Today I'm going to be telling you a story that I have created. I have named it Gameland. So, I'm going to start the story with a girl. Alicia was a beautiful girl with black silky hair and green eyes. She had a beautiful olive skin, uh, which uh, which left a mark when she smiled. So she went into the shack one day to get a basket from her mom. When she went outside, she decided to put her hand on the shack window because she was feeling a little tired. Suddenly, she clicked a button which was blended into the window. She had no clue what it did because nothing happened for a few seconds, but only for a few. She fell down so deep that it converted all the means of science of Earth, the deepest layer being hot, bad. So, as she fell down, she realized that she had landed on a grassy field. Unfortunately for her, she was dressed in orange, and there was a rabbit who thought she was a carrot and started chasing her. So she had no clue what to do, so she started running. As soon as she went, she started sinking into a sand, the sinking kind of sand, sinking sand. She started sinking down, but instead of sinking down as she was expecting, as soon as her head went down, she started going up. As soon as she appeared, she got on her legs, and she realized she was in a very dark dungeon. But she only saw one light. As she heard a humongous growl behind her. She turned around and saw it was a humongous dog, a size of a mountain. It was so big, it could easily have played with Alicia for its chew toy. So it started chasing her around, especially thinking it was a chew toy. So then, just when she thought she was going to be eaten, she found a pole. She decided to take it for her own protection in case the dog tried to eat her. So then, when she got cornered by the dog dog opened its mouth, and instead of barking like she thought, a roar came out. It transformed into a lion, which made it less frightening, more frightening. Is that true? Well, she took the pole and stuck it right into the mouth. Well, she was disgusted at first, but she went for it nonetheless. So after it got hurt, like really bad, she went into a door that led somewhere else. But as she realized that wasn't the mother. There was another dog that was standing right in front of her. That was its mother. It was a double size of the dog she had just met. Humongous paws, sharp teeth, and such a long ear that she thought she could have easily fitted in it, like earbuds. So she started running for dear life, as the pole that she had did for the dog was already in its system. She recognized, I'm pretty sure the son told her mother about it, so she started chasing her around. Well, happy news to you. So she started chasing her around. Suddenly, she saw a beautiful girl. She had sandy hair and green eyes, and her skin was looked as if it had been rattled in fur, but she could recognize that if it wasn't rattled in the dirtiness it was right now, it would have been olive skin. So she started to ask her what was her name, but she decided being chased by a giant dog wasn't the right time to ask her what was her name. So she proceeded her running. So she grabbed her arm and decided to drag her along. As soon as that happened, she was stepping on a "Do not step on" sign. When she stepped on that, a huge net came from the bottom and towered her like 1,000 feet above that girl, but it was the exact height of the dog needed to eat her. So then that girl, who she didn't even know her name but was saving her life, went onto the claw of the hand. As the dog raised it up to go for the final strike, she directly shot a blade. I think it was a knife, but I'll go for a blade. And cut the rope down. It was inches away from my head. I decided she wasn't a good thrower. So when I went soaring down, I got hold of the blade, at least not by its tip. So then, after falling abruptly for 1,000 feet, I fell on the floor. As I saw Alicia on the hands of a humongous dog, I went onto the top to help her, but I guess she had it all figured out. As soon as the dog went in for the strike, she swinged onto the rope and made the dog swallow part of the rope inside. So I decided she had been in these kind of savage experiences, and I let her take him. So after that monster was dead with the suffocation of a rope, like I suffocated its kid with the pole, she came down. So I asked her what was her name, and then abruptly she didn't have a time to answer. We started sinking into a mud hole, but then again we didn't drown, we went up. Okay, so we went into a huge area. It was filled with lava. We were all surrounded by lava, but there was one mountain that the geysers headed straight towards them. They didn't know what to do. There was no obstacle course in sight or anything to help them. But then they got sight of a lava red rock that was on the area and followed by more lava red. It was hard to see in the lava red area. So they decided to go and see if it was good. But surprisingly, it was very bouncy. Too bouncy. They almost flung off the other one on the zigzag to it, and almost flung off by the bounce it gave them. So then they started to bounce back on this tilted way. They started to bounce back. Well, I can't do it because I'm not in space. I have gravity. So that time, they were bouncing, and suddenly it came to abrupt end. Then there was a rope ladder. So they decided to take the rope ladder up. So they took the rope ladder up. It was not made out of rope entirely. If there was one string connected here, then there was another string here. So it grew harder to climb as the string grew shorter as we climbed. But as we realized, the string was burning behind us. So with that being done, me and whoever that girl's name was started to climb up the ladder, like not a real ladder, of course. Started to climb up fast. As soon as we reached the end, they saw a set of monkey bars. But monkey bars so high, if you went onto the top of the mountain, you couldn't even see it properly. So if you fall down, it would mean your death, no matter what there was on the ground. So they started to go because it was the only obstacle course out, of course. So they went. But as soon as they got to the final bar, Lily lost her grip and her hands became sweaty and almost fell down. Alicia grabbed onto the monkey bar with one hand and took Alicia whoever that girl's name was, I don't know. But she pulled her up onto the monkey bar behind her, and they started going. Then, suddenly, they reached on a whole new surface. There was a area of a large area, but they didn't know what it was. When they stepped on it, nothing happened. So they decided it was a game. Neither did they know that they were in a land that was called Game Land. So in this land there was obstacles and courses like you can never imagine that would happen in a game you play as a board game, like that. And there was also break spots, like again a game. So as they started to pray, they set up a fire. Little did they know how close they actually were. So Alicia decided to ask her name because it was pretty weird her saving her life and not even knowing her own name. So it felt weird. So I decided to say, "What's your name?" And she said, "Lily." She asked me back, and I said, "Alicia." So we both felt a sudden familiarity, but we didn't share it with each other. Neither did we know that how close we actually were. So that includes the chapter for today, chapter 1. I'll see you next time. Bye.